Good morning, and thank you for joining me for today's midweek reflection from Holy Saviour Church. This Sunday is Remembrance Sunday, and whilst it's something that we mark every year, it seems to have a much more powerful resonance this year than it perhaps has for others, in that we are once again seeing a major war on the continent of Europe, with enormous suffering and huge numbers of people being displaced. Perhaps it shouldn't surprise us, because actually at any time within the last 50 years there have always been at least 20 different wars happening somewhere around the world. It's a sad reflection of humanity that we can do extraordinary and amazing things. We've been able for decades to split the atom, and yet we can't do something as apparently simple as bringing people of different views and opinions together peacefully. I think the biblical attitude to war and peace is a complex one. Christ is proclaimed as the Prince of Peace. It's very striking that after Jesus' resurrection, the first thing he says when he appears to his disciples is, "Peace be with you." And the Old Testament has very powerful imagery of a hope of a future in which swords will be turned into plowshares. And yet there is alongside that warrior imagery, warlike imagery, also throughout the Old Testament. So what are we to make of that? I think the way I try to understand it is something like this. It's to say that God is at war, if you want to use that terminology. God's at war with all those things that dehumanize us, his children: injustice, cruelty, greed. And if we are prepared to be so, we are all agents of that struggle. The command of Jesus that when we are struck on the cheek, we turn the other cheek. It's not, I don't think, an act of passivity. Rather, it's a kind of statement of non-violent defiance. So I feel it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter whether you understand the Christian gospel from the perspective of someone who would clearly call yourself a pacifist, or whether, like many of us, you would take the view that sometimes, tragically, as an absolute last resort, war is necessary for the defence of human freedom. It doesn't matter, because actually we all have this responsibility. A responsibility, yes, towards those generations who have gone before us, but also to those who will come after us and inherit the world from us, to be peacemakers. So I do wish you a meaningful Remembrance Sunday, however you choose to mark it. But may all of us have a greater resolve in these troubled times. Yes, indeed, to pray, but even more so to work for peace in our homes and communities, to work for peace across our land, and most of all, to work for peace all over our planet. Our hymn for today: O God, our help in ages past.